how you keep that momentum going. You know what I mean? When you guys are performing so well and confidence is an all-time high, and then it's a week and a half between games.
Yeah, well, we've been out to a hot start this year. We're 3-0, and we've already had one bye week, and that was nice. It was after the first game, which you don't really want one after the first game. You want it when after you've played a couple games, so your body can rest. But last week we had a pretty good week of practice, and we got back to the fundamentals, and we're just really focusing on Robert Morris for this next week. And so last week it was a lot of focus on ourselves, and then this past Sunday when we got out in the field, we got to focus more on Robert Morris, and it just kind of we had like a 2-day break, so getting back to football after only 2 days is pretty easy.
And it's also the start of 9 straight, so how do you kind of approach it that way?
Yeah, kind of like Jacob said, we just approach it week by week. Tuesday practice is usually the harder one. We get in, get up most of our work done, and see most of the looks. It's honestly where we make the mistakes, and then Wednesday we learn a little bit more, and Thursday we should be almost pretty good to go, and Fridays we just treat it just like game day. And so taking each game just 1 week at a time. It helps a lot more than focusing, on a team that's 3 weeks away, 4 weeks away. You can't do that because then we overlook it, and you guys know how that happened last year a couple of times. And hopefully we have 9 straight. We'll have 9 straight for sure, and then hopefully we have the 10th week off, and then 4 more. So we'll see how it goes from there.
You guys talk about trap games and things of that nature, and respecting an opponent like Robert Morris, even though you're a week away. It's kind of hard not to look around the rest of the league and see what everybody else is doing. But this is a team like Jacob said, 4 years ago, this was an overtime game.
Yeah.
Between these guys.
No, Robert Morris, they do some pretty good things. They got some good players. 4 or 5 years ago, they took us into overtime, and luckily we came out on top on that one after not playing so well the rest of the day. But we can't take this game for granted. We got to come out and work and prepare just like we're playing in the championship every game. And if we don't, then we just leave errors out there in the field. And Mr. Jaworski, he actually came and talked to us last 2 weeks ago, and he told us, mistake-free football wins football games, and not even football games, championships. So that's one thing that we're going to try and keep going throughout the rest of the year is not making mistakes out there.
I mean, I know it's the schedule but would you prefer to play someone more, quality team? Not to say Robert Morris,
Yeah, I mean Robert Morris they're a good team. I mean, by far they're a really good team. They've won last week, and they've competed against us in the past. Obviously, we'd like to play like a West Virginia or Pitt or something like that last year, like an FBS team where it's, hey, we got overlooked, or we ended up not going there, and so we want to go prove to those coaches like, hey, we could have came here and played. And we've competed with those teams in the past, but at the end of the day we don't get to control our schedule, so we just go and compete against Robert Morris and try and have a W at the end of the day.
What about your relationship with Nate? You've been here with him now for
Yeah.
a while, go to school together,
Yeah.
spend a lot of time together. So what's that relationship like?
No, Nate and I are really, really good friends. Actually, on my official visit, Nate and I were roommates. So I've known him. He was like the first person I knew here, and so we've kind of just grown that relationship throughout the years. He's came home with me a couple times to hang out and meet my family and all that, and I've met his family, and we lived together basically for a couple of years now, and so we're pretty good friends, and that relationship's going to continue for years after college, I suspect. I hope so. Who knows? Maybe Nate doesn't like me.
What's Robert Morris kind of bring from a defensive standpoint?
Yeah, defensively, they actually do a couple things similar to our defense. So it's actually a positive view that we get to, we've practiced against our defense for the last, some of the older guys for years, and some of the newer guys for, all camp. And even the last week during the bye week, we went good on good. And, defensively, they do a lot of like palms and which is cover 4. Some things similar to our defense. So it's good that we get to see it a lot and most of the time.
It's your first 6 o'clock game, so you kind of
Yeah.
that or not?
It stinks in the morning because you're at your house all day, you're at the stadium all day, and it's like, I got to wait all day for a game. At the same time, noon games aren't any fun because you got to wake up early. So, I mean, I like 6 o'clock games. You get to play under the lights, and it's not going to be scorching hot out there anymore. So it'll be nice to be out there.